Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another fantastic edition of the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate your ears and your eyes. We don't take it for granted. We love and appreciate every last one of you that believe in us enough to keep rocking with us week after week after week. We're on a mission here to help you take full control, full dominion over your money and your life. And so we're going to be talking about the future of money, which actually might be the present of money. But we're going to be talking about Bitcoin, and not just Bitcoin in and of itself, but we're going to be talking about Bitcoin and Black America. And to help us navigate this conversation, we're going to have the author of the book and another book by that name, Bitcoin and Black America. His name is Isaiah Jackson. He is a champion of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and especially is championing it for the Black community. So we couldn't wait to get him on to share his views, his expertise, and his insights with you, man. So get your pen and paper ready. A lot of you all have been asking us questions about cryptocurrency, and we have been quiet. You know why? Because we've been in the background doing research. We are people of integrity, and we ain't gonna tell y'all nothing we don't know nothing about. So we have to do our research first, and we only want to bring you trusted voices as always. And so we're doing that with this episode. So without further ado, we're going to get Isaiah on so he can share his wisdom with us and you. Hey, Isaiah, welcome to the His and Her Money Show.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having me. Glad to be here, man.
Man, we're glad to have you. Like we were saying earlier, you know, we have been hearing and the people have been asking, yo, what do y'all think about Bitcoin? What do you think about cryptocurrency? And, you know, we've just been like, we're researching. And we were doing just that. And quite consistently in our research, we came across you, and we were listening to a lot of your research, looked at your book. And we were excited that you were able to make some time with all the 17 shows that you have to make some time to talk to us. But some people are being introduced to you for the very first time right here and right now. So for them, can you say hello and let them know what you're all about?
Absolutely. So, yes, thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate the invite. And again, my name is Isaiah Jackson, author of Bitcoin and Black America. I started with Bitcoin back in 2013. So 8 going on 9 years now in the space. And I've, dedicated the last 5 years to teaching, about Bitcoin and Black America, because we need to hear it as much as anybody else. I know the stigma of Bitcoin is, some white dude with a hoodie on in a basement, coding away, but it actually is built to be mainstream. So the Black community needed that message, and that's why I've continued the work that I'm doing now.
So how did this journey start for you? Because you were introduced to this very early at a time where, it wasn't popular. It wasn't mainstream. It wasn't trending to be say, yo, I'm down with Bitcoin. So how did it catch your attention, and what made you say, like, I need to keep paying attention to this?
Oh, yeah. So being a computer science major, Bitcoin actually solved a long-term computer problem. It's called the general Byzantines problem. It's about having trustless systems, and Bitcoin solved that with this triple entry accounting, which we know as the blockchain. And with the blockchain, the ability to verify without knowing the other party, it solved that issue. So that's kind of what piqued my interest. But I learned about it from a roommate. He told me about it. I read the Bitcoin white paper. Ironically, he worked for Charles Schwab, a financial institution. So they've been talking about it since 2013. So just kind of passed it to me. I read it and I understood sort of the tech side. It was a lot more techie back then, but I saw what it could do for myself at first, and then later the Black community after I saw some of the things that gave it value. For example, censorship resistant, especially in the Black community, we're always getting our stuff taken from us economically, either through inflation, either through redlining, either through gentrification. There's a myriad of ways, civil forfeitures, a myriad of ways you can have your money taken from you. So just seeing little aspects like that, remittance payments are cheaper. As a savings account, Bitcoin is the best performing asset of the last decade. So all of these things, when I first started, I thought that then, and I felt like we needed to know about that for now.
Now, guys, we're going to be talking at a not beginner level conversation about Bitcoin in this episode. If you want to learn about Bitcoin for beginners, we did another episode. We'll link it in the show notes and we'll put it under the video on YouTube. That one is called Investing in Bitcoin for Beginners. Check that one out, then come back to this one. So when you were reading the white paper, doing your research, you said that you saw something in it that could be super beneficial, not just for you, but for the Black community. What was it that you saw back then? Because I'll give my context. We've been researching this for the better part of a year, and I had to start and stop and start and stop because I just keeping it all the way real. The beginning sounded like a missing episode of The Matrix. With a person who don't exist, who might be one person or 12 or 10, and the ups and downs and all the controversies, and but now it's made it through all that, which again shows the viability of the product. But like, how did you sift through all that and say, yo, I see something that has positive potential, not just for me, but for my whole community?
Oh yeah. So yeah, you're right. There was a lot of terrible news stories. Silk Road, which was taken down. Silk Road 2.0 with another exchange taken down. Mt. Gox lost billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. So it was scary if you didn't stick to the fundamentals. If you listen to the media, if you listen to people who tell you no, because I can tell you right now, nobody in my family understood what I was talking about. They were like, "What? Why would you use this thing for criminals?" Or it's a Ponzi scheme. And I was like, if you understand the tech, you understand how powerful this is. And to me, this is the best invention since the internet. And I don't think people see it that way yet. They're starting to see why, but I saw that at the time. And what clicked for me, for one, was not just the money aspect, but the fact that freedom, pure freedom. That's what the goal is. And for Black people, we've talked about it. We've marched. We've had a Black president. We've had lawyers. We have CEOs. We've done the work, and it still has gotten us nowhere as far as median income. We're still the same since the 60s. So I was like, well, we need something different. Can we try anything different? And Bitcoin seemed like the answer. And I've been pushing that pretty much because everything else I've heard before. I mean, the real estate does get people property. Gold is a way that people save. Stocks, options. I've heard that before. Median income still pretty much stays the same because of inflation. Inflation keeps us at a certain level so that even if you do make more money, the price of goods is going up more than the money you're making. So you basically end up at the same place you are. Bitcoin changes that over time.
Now, I know you have an education background as well as your tech background, just like I have an education background. I know you were a teacher, and one of the toughest places to be a teacher from an economic standpoint. I don't know how I knew that. Being a teacher in Chicago, somehow I knew that North Carolina was one of the lowest paying states
Yep.
when it came to teachers, and that's where you taught. So history. And we, for a lot of historical reasons, have this thing called the wealth gap between us and other races.
Yep.
What do you see the role of Bitcoin in possibly shrinking that gap?
So first things first, as far as wealth, you have to be able to keep the wealth you have, first of all. So that's the first start. It's unconfiscatable. It can't be taken away from you. You can keep it forever. You can pass it down. So that's the first step. The second step is building wealth. As far as basic economics, it is a scarce supply. Bitcoin has a scarce supply. Only 21 million will ever be created. And that's how good money should be. It should be scarce. With rising demand, that is why you see the increase in price over time. So it is a way to beat that inflation that I've discussed before. So that's another aspect of building wealth. You have to beat inflation, because if you're not making enough money, again, we're still stagnant. The third thing is the ability to have things such as DeFi, decentralized finance. Before, Black people have been denied loans. We've been ridiculed by banks. Even if we have the same qualifications, you have to live in certain areas. So these things have taken wealth out of our community. With DeFi, decentralized finance, you can use your Bitcoin to get a cash loan right now. There's no, what's your zip code? Where do you live at? What's your credit score? None of that matters anymore. So it literally opens us up to the possibilities of what I think an open financial system should be. It's not all equal outcomes, but equal opportunity. And that's what I think Black people are looking for. Not handouts, but the opportunity to do just like anybody else.
So I think when a lot of the information that's out there right now, if people are doing their research, doing their due diligence, is, this has the potential to create generational wealth, affect our kids and affect our grandkids, and even past that, because the last Bitcoin isn't going to be mine for another 100 years or so.
Yep.
But for some people, that could be a deterrent. Like, yo, I'm trying to get it right now. I'm trying to do something that I can feel or see or experience in the here and now and in future generations. So can you speak to what the present value of me or anybody listening investing in Bitcoin can have on them, not just 20, 30, 40 years from now, but maybe 5, maybe 10 years from now. And I know you're
Yeah.
heavy into what's going on and all the different technologies that surround the Bitcoin ecosystem. So can you help us think through how Bitcoin can be a part of our present day experience as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So ownership for one, get some skin in the game. Being able to own Bitcoin, the it just came out today. Inflation is at 5.4%. The cost of goods, the cost of everything is going up. So for one thing, as a savings account, that's one way to start. And if you want to look at 5 to 10 years, over the last 8 years, I've used Bitcoin as a savings account, over 200,000% gain. That's not it. Nothing else is even close. All you
Okay,
have
now
to do,
break that down. You just said
yes,
I use Bitcoin as a savings account. It's a
the
money
last
show.
eight
So
years.
talk about how do we use Bitcoin as a savings account? I didn't mean to cut you off, but I got to get
Oh yeah.
that.
Oh yeah. So the money that you would normally put into a savings account or into a small interest bearing money market or whatever, take that money, dollar cost average, which means buy a certain amount at a certain time of Bitcoin. That's it. And you don't have to do anything special. I mean, if you have Cash App on your phone right now, you can buy Bitcoin. If you have access to any wallets on your phone, you can buy Bitcoin within the wallet. So use that as a savings account. That's the first thing I've done for the last 8 years. Nothing has come close, and I think long term, nothing else will. So as a savings account, that's one. And then some tangible things you can do if you own a brick and mortar business. Let's say, for instance, you don't really believe in Bitcoin or buying it or whatever. You have to remember during the gold rush, the people who made the most money were the people who sold the shovels, right? So if you have a brick and mortar business, you can actually house Bitcoin ATMs and they will pay you to house that ATM. Right now, the going rate is between $900 to $1,500 a month for free. And they manage it, they manage the security and everything. So if you have a brick and mortar business right now, you can take advantage of the Bitcoin market because depending on the foot traffic you have, you get free money every month. That's just based off the industry because there's so much demand for Bitcoin. Also, if you don't want to buy Bitcoin, you can earn it. That's another great feature of Bitcoin right now. There's two apps. Fold app is one. Another one is called Lolly, Lolli. Both of them, whenever you shop, we all shop, right? I buy way too much Postmates, but every time I do, I get 3% back in Bitcoin rewards instead of cash rewards. So that Bitcoin that I've received over the last year of buying Postmates has paid for all the Postmates I got last year. So
So how does
again,
that work? When you get the Bitcoin rewards back, you move it to one of the Bitcoin platforms or wallet or
you keep it in Bitcoin and they allow you to move it off into your own wallet. Yes.
wow.
So the Bitcoin I was earning back out of the 400 or 500 worth of Postmates I paid for last year, that I've earned that back because in the Bitcoin terms, what I've have in USD is more than $500. So I actually
Mm.
ate a year for free. Just simply switching a little bit of what you do. You don't have to change your entire routine to change everything you're doing. If you go on Lolly right now, they have over 1,000 stores you can shop at. Nike, all the big ones, Microsoft, like I said, Postmates, everywhere you shop anywhere. So you can also earn Bitcoin, not just buy it, not just invest. So there's a lot of ways to get involved. Tangible results right now as we speak. And you don't have to be a trader. I do want to throw that out there. Statistically speaking, 98% of traders fail over a 10-year span. Everybody thinks you have to be some sort of trader and do technical analysis. No, you really make it simple for yourself if you just do those three things I just said, and probably stay away from leverage trading.
Now I'm going to come back to the trading thing because that's a topic that Black America needs to understand a little bit better. But I want to go to what you just said about Bitcoin ATMs. My wife and I were at a mall last weekend, one that we've been to plenty of times, and for the first time, we saw a Bitcoin ATM. I don't know what to do with that Bitcoin ATM, but it was there, and we took it as a sign that Bitcoin is here to stay. So, number one, part A of this question is that a sign that Bitcoin is here to stay? And then part B is, what the heck do you do with a Bitcoin ATM? Like, how am I supposed to use that, man?
Oh yeah. So the first question, yes, that is showing you that Bitcoin's here to stay. In fact, Spike Lee has a commercial out right now with CoinCloud ATM saying how digital money is the future. If you can check it out later. So yes, that is a good sign. And second, as the owner of a Bitcoin ATM out in California, the way a Bitcoin ATM works is if you have cash, you can go buy Bitcoin with no KYC up to $900. Now after that, you will have to give ID and identify yourself. But it is again, it's basically it's just easy to do, and because of that convenience, you can buy it, and at a lot of machines, you can also sell Bitcoin. You can actually go to the machine, scan your QR code, sell it, and get cash. So if you check out coinatmradar.com, you can see the ATMs in your area. Actually visit one, see it. I mean, put $20 in and see that you can buy different cryptocurrencies along with Bitcoin. So depending on what you want to do in that space, if you just want to buy it, you find one and buy it there. But if you want to house it, you can go to coinflipatm.com, and they have a actual link for hosting. You can earn money from it. So again, I tell people all the time, even if you don't believe in Bitcoin, do you believe that other people believe in Bitcoin? You can make money off of that as well.
Now, you said when you were explaining, you said no KYC. What is that?
Know your customer /
Okay.
anti-money laundering laws. Those are the things put in place so that any finance apps, they have to take your information, your social security number, your ID, whatever it may be, to fulfill those requirements.
So I could have bought some Bitcoin at that ATM. I just saw it. I was like, wow, that's cool. And we just kind of kept it moving. So I could have bought some right there.
Yep, you can buy it. And
Yeah.
they're popping up in a lot of places now. I think that's solidifying it for people, because when I first got my ATM in 2017, it still didn't solidify it because it was so uncommon. Nobody had them. Now, a lot of places you see them at least a gas station in most cities.
Does your credit score have you down and looking for solutions? You may just find the answers you're looking for with Credit Sesame. Credit Sesame is your solution for a free no-hassle credit score, credit analysis, and tips for managing your money. They are here to help you take control of and have the tools you need to bring about a bright financial future. Get empowered today. There's no credit card required. Receive identity theft protection up to $50,000. And discover a marketplace for credit and loan officers that will help you get to your next level. Visit hisandhermoney.com/credit sesame for more details.
What's your honest opinion on trading? Because some people are, they're building platforms on the ability to make money by getting in and out of different coins. And so, I mean, as a veteran of this game, and you've seen it all, just what's your unbiased opinion on it?
My unbiased opinion is if you are not a trader, which most people are not, if you are not trading before cryptocurrency, take the time to learn how to do it. If you want to learn basic technical analysis, fundamental analysis, that's fine. But again, statistically speaking, in Bitcoin, dollar cost average in Bitcoin, 100% of people are in profit who dollar cost average Bitcoin over a 3-year span. On trading side, 98% of people fail over that same span, because again, it's not for everybody. A lot of people can make money at first. People jump in and out, which is good. I mean, that's fine if you're making money. But for those who are not very well versed in it, and they can lose their whole shirt. And looking back, there's a lot of trading blunders that I had early on where I could just bought Bitcoin. And one funny statistic I've seen is that Coinbase was valued at I think $4 billion, or some guy made $4 billion off of his investment in Coinbase, which they allow you to trade and do all that stuff. But they actually would have been worth more if they just bought Bitcoin. That was it. They didn't have to do any of the trading, any of the adding coins to the exchange, nothing. They could have just bought Bitcoin and had more money. So it seems very simple. It's not sexy. It's not, Lambos and pie in the sky, but it's very simple to do that. But with other coins as well, I think Ethereum is another option to dollar cost average over time. You can also use it. People are buying NFTs now. So there are ways to benefit from it. But if you are just starting out, you do want to keep it simple.
Okay, so another thing that's out there is your ability to, for example, with Gemini, which is another platform where you can buy cryptocurrency. They have where you can leave it on the platform and earn interest. And there's another big player out there that does the same thing. I can't think of their name off the top of my head. Is that a good thing? What is it?
Is it BlockFi?
Yes, BlockFi. A lot of people are talking about that. You can, the interest rates you get over there, blow local banks out the water. But at the same time, it's in a hot wallet, so you're not in a cold wallet situation. So how do you balance the potential interest that you could earn over there versus, you being in a hot versus cold wallet? Help us, navigate that.
Oh yeah. So what you're talking about is staking. So you can put your Bitcoin, Ethereum, your stable coin. You can stake it on their site, which what that does, it gives them liquidity, right? The liquidity to give these loans. And it basically shows how much they have on the balance sheet. So to be rewarded for that, to incentivize it, they'll give you rates such as 8% for your stable coins, or 6% if you stake a certain cryptocurrency. Those rates have lowered on BlockFi. I'm not sure about on Gemini. I think they're at 3% on Gemini. I think it's about the same on BlockFi. Also, crypto.com, they have something similar. So a lot of different platforms are doing this. So what you have to realize is everything is a risk. You're making way more staking with stable coins on these platforms than banks. Honestly, banks are all but gone at this point. However, like you just said, it is security risk for a couple of reasons. For one, they do keep some of the money in hot wallets that can be taken, or somebody could have a blunder and it's gone. They also do something called rehypothecation. All right.
Whoa, that's a big old word, brother.
And I'll explain it. It sounds complicated. It's really not. All rehypothecation is the money that's put into the pot, so to say, on that platform. They trade it on the back end, or they have people who trade it on the back end to earn an interest. Banks have been doing it for years. So it's not something that hasn't been happening, but that's how you get that percentage rate at your bank. They may make 7% on the year, but they give you 0.75% for your savings account. That's all rehypothecation is them making money on the back end. So even though I do like these platforms for moving away from banks, everything is a risk. And because some of them are not FDIC insured yet, they're getting there. Gemini is. I believe BlockFi is on its way. Because they're not there yet, some people may not trust them, but everything is a risk. So, more you get a higher percentage rate, more risk, lower percentage rate, less risk. It's really up to the user. You just got to know what you're dealing with.
Another hot topic in this arena, especially in the Black space, is something you mentioned earlier, NFT. Mm-hmm. Dame Dash was just in the news because allegedly he was trying to turn Reasonable Doubt into an NFT, but then he said he wasn't, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. What the heck is an NFT, and how do we proceed with caution? Because let's see, for just to put it bluntly, we like shiny things. And so even if Bitcoin don't make sense, the fact that, hey, I can have this rare edition of a NBA shot, or a rare edition of one of my favorite classic hip hop albums, count me in. And so I think there could be a rush without, proper analysis. So one, help us understand what it is. And two, how do we engage it with wisdom?
Absolutely. So NFT stands for non-fungible token. All right. And all that means is it is a unique digital asset, meaning it's a one of one. Only you own it. The private key that is attached to that artwork, that music, anything that is considered an NFT, the private key attached to that is yours and yours alone. You own it. You can put it into your digital wallet and hold it as an asset, or you can sell it later. The reason NFTs are popular is because people who have a lot of content, such as the NBA, like you said, NBA Top Shot, people who have a lot of music, like Quincy Jones just started his own NFT platform. Anybody that has a lot of content, they want to be able to package that and sell it to people as one of ones, so that people can say, hey, I have a concert from Quincy Jones that nobody else has ever seen, or I have a song that was written by an artist, audio reactive NFT, so to say, that nobody's ever heard before. These things are being collected in the digital world. And even though to some people, they may think to themselves, well, what if I don't want digital assets? Well, now they have physical assets that they're selling as NFTs. For instance, there are NBA, NFL players I've spoken to personally that I'm consulting. Instead of selling their, old jersey or old shoes, they're NFTing it because they can get more out of it. Anybody from around the world can participate, and it's not, relegated to just rich people anymore. So what NFTs does, it gives regular people like you and I, artists from anywhere around the world, to create art, create music, create some sort of memory that you want to hold. Even tweets are starting to turn into NFTs, and you can sell it. People bid on it, and there's a lot of different platforms that you can use to sell it. OpenSea, OpenSea is one of the bigger ones. Rareable is another one. Super Rare, Foundation.app. And even in more of the Black community, Black artists, for example, there's a Black arts district that is in a metaverse, a digital world. Called it's amazing. It's called the One Off Black Arts District, and they have NFTs in there where you can click on them in the digital world and bid on them. And even though that may not sound important to some people, look at your kids. They're on video games all day. Virtual reality glasses are here. They're going to get better over time. And as people are in these virtual worlds, NFTs allow you to buy digital assets and transfer them from video game to video game to some other metaverse. And that's very important. It's sort of like Ready Player One, if you've ever seen that. So if you look at the video game industry, if you look at art and how it's progressed, that's why NFTs are important. So you can create your own, or you can buy them, being speculative, because you can sell them later. So a lot of interesting stuff with NFTs, and I think they'll take off as well.
All right. So you talked about some of the websites that we can go and look at stuff. Mm-hmm. How do we value, or how do we assess? Yeah, this might be a good idea for me to invest some money in this NFT versus that one. You got any advice there?
Yeah. So when I look at NFTs for buying, I usually look at things that I like, first of all, because if you like it, chances are somebody else does as well. Also, you want to be alerted for the updates. So when they have what they call drops, you want to have either a timer on, or you want to have that date in mind, because early bird gets the worm. If you're late to the party, you're probably going to be a second or third buyer, and you want to be first so that you can raise that price. Also, what price you're willing to pay. It is based a lot of times in cryptocurrency. So if it's 0.1 Ethereum, so to say, that's about $200 right now. It's up to you how much you think it's worth, how much you can make from it in the end. But what I've seen in particular with NFTs is pretty much any NFT drop that comes out, you'll be able to resell it later for higher. It's just how much and how long can you hold it. And that's because of sort of the craze. But if you want to be smart about it, make sure that you have those alerts and you get drops as early as possible.
All right. So bringing it back to the community, those who are still trying to say like, okay, this sounds maybe, possibly, maybe I'll consider this. Why are you such a champion for Bitcoin and Black America specifically? What is it that we need to know, that we need to understand in our hearts, as far as the opportunity that is before us right now?
Oh, yeah. First things first, we need something new. We need a new solution. The reason I'm so adamant is because growing up in a Black family with people who are strong in civil rights movement, strong in with the Nation of Islam, a lot of different opinions. One thing I've learned growing up is that we've done the work. We are very hardworking people. We've done what we need to do, even in the face of opposition. But we haven't tried anything new. We keep doing the same stuff and trying to get a different result. That's the definition of insanity. So Bitcoin is completely different. And because I've seen it work for myself and my family, as well as others, I think that Black people need to take this opportunity to join a money network that actually benefits us, instead of a money network that has constantly done everything they can to shut us out. I mean, if you think the current money system is built for us to succeed, you are mistaken. It's literally built to fail. Every single fiat currency in the history of the world has failed. The dollar will not be any different. And if you think I'm lying, just look at the value of the dollar from when it started to now. It's down 99%. How much lower can we go? Every 10 to 12 years is a recession. We're in year 12 since the last one. All signs are pointing towards an economic crisis. And because we can have Bitcoin as a plan B, as a lifeboat to get off this sinking Titanic, that's why I'm adamant about telling Black people. Because we are sort of slow, last of the party, and a lot of things from before. We didn't catch the internet wave as early as we should have. We didn't catch a lot of the artificial intelligence stuff that's coming out now like we should have. Bitcoin is an opportunity to change that. And with Black people, I know people are slow. Well, I'm going to do my research. I'm going to think. At this point, every billionaire in the world is buying Bitcoin. And I have billionaire friends that are buying it as much as they can every single day. And they're buying it because they understand they want to keep their wealth. And if you have less than them, you should be even more adamant about keeping what you have, because they can sort of throw it away. So that's why I'm really adamant about Black people. I just don't want to see us behind again, doing the same old stuff. I mean, I'm 32 years old, and I'm old enough to say I'm tired of us being led into the same old. I mean, we can march, we can do whatever, but you still got to put that money in a bank that won't give it back to you in the form of loans or education. So we got to move. We got to change our mindset and move in another way.
Now, your books are called Bitcoin and Black America, Part 1 and Part 2.
Yes.
Is Bitcoin the only thing we need to be dollar cost averaging, or should we be looking at other things as well?
No, Bitcoin isn't the only one. I believe Bitcoin will be the global money standard, but because of other use cases, there's other ones you should take a look at. Again, Ethereum is not trying to be a global money system. It's trying to create decentralized apps, decentralized finance. So use Ethereum for that. For privacy coins, Monero. Monero is a great protocol where you can actually send private transactions. For some people who may be like, hey, in the future, the payments Black people need to send to each other to get stuff done may need to be private. That's another one, Monero. Also, exchange coins. Coins where, or tokens, I should say, that are related to different exchanges like Binance, Qcoin, Uniswap. Some of these exchanges, it's like buying stock in that exchange. If you think people will use that exchange, it's almost a bet on the fact that those exchanges will succeed, and you usually get a discount on fees. So if you use their token, you get 50% off fees versus if you use Bitcoin, you got to pay 100% of those fees. So these are coins people should look at. And I think that if you are in the space, don't spread yourself too thin and think you need to invest in everything. If you're just starting, just start with the top 10, the blue chips, as I call them. Bitcoin is a standard. You should be dollar cost averaging that heavy, but you can look at some of the other protocols in the top 10 that may succeed.
You've been educating people for quite a while now, especially in the Black community. Mm-hmm. What do you see us, those that listen to you and attempt to, what are some mistakes that you've seen people make so that the people listening don't make those same mistakes?
So first mistake, over trading. I do know some talented traders. I just want to let people know that because I have been in the industry long enough, if you don't have a trading bot, if you are not an algorithmic trader and you can make trades in a matter of milliseconds, you're going to get wiped out every time. I hate to tell people, but you may make a little money if you stick in it long term. But I know the people that build these bots. These are military grade or financial grade, high grade algorithm bots. So over trading, people thinking they're going to get rich quick. That's one big mistake. Another big mistake I see is people trading what they think is cryptocurrency when in reality it's just an IOU. For example, Robinhood, that's not crypto. PayPal, that's not crypto. Let's see, Revolut, that's not crypto. You're trading a dollar asset or a dollar-backed asset. The most you can do is trade it back in for dollars and move it to your bank account, which may be all right with some people, but if you're trying to go into the new money system, you want actual Bitcoin. So that's another big issue I see. A third one I see is that people fall in love with these smaller cryptocurrencies. Do not fall in love with them. People are basically going to war over XRP or going to bat over Dogecoin. And I'm like, calm down. These are all highly speculative, smaller coins that may succeed. So please don't get emotional with that. Fourth thing I would say is from a security standpoint, a lot of people do not protect themselves. Make sure you use a VPN if possible, virtual private network. They are very cheap, $3 a month, $5 a month. Use that. That should be just standard practice. Also, you want to put two-factor authentication. If you have the option on any exchange, on any platform you use, two-factor authentication, right? And it's very simple. It just gives you another level of security outside of your password. You got a little passcode on your phone, and that can keep it away from hackers. Also, you want to make sure when you're using these platforms that you're not, I guess using the same email. Just have at least one or two different ones. I know that may seem like a lot. I am a security guy from computer science, so I'm a little bit overboard, but at least two emails just to mix it up because you don't want anybody to have a central point of attack. So those are the things I see the most: security, over trading, those things right there. I think just stay away from that. You'll be all right.
So if people need deeper knowledge, I know you've written a couple of books. So can you tell everybody a little bit more about what they'll find in each edition and how they can get copies?
Yes. So the first edition, some of the things you'll see is talking about my story of how I started. It'll also go into Bitcoin in the 21st century, a 21st century economy, how you can use it as a consumer, also as a business owner, things of that nature. Then it goes into the education portion, how you can teach your kids, how we can teach college students, things of that nature. Then we talk about internationally, how we can benefit from using allies. That's one thing I think the civil rights movement and a lot of the Black movements we don't have allies outside of our country that can affect us, tangibly. With Bitcoin, we do. So we have people in Senegal, Ghana, South Africa, in the Caribbean. We're all working towards the same goal, and that helps increase the network of Bitcoin. So talk about that. I also discuss going into Blockchain, which is a open source project I'm working on now. Basically showing that we can change the entire financial system with just small changes in our life. So microtransactions, for example, microloans, using Bitcoin, we can get rid of credit scores for Black people. Like, people don't think it's possible, but we're working on that now. Actually, the Digital Black Wall Street by Hill Harper, I'm a consultant for that. So we can change that. So it talks about that all in the first book. In the second book, I actually go a little bit deeper, talk about how to get more privacy, how to run your own node, how to keep Bitcoin for long term, either through marriage, divorce, alimony, because people don't realize that's going to start coming up in courts now. I've already been contacted by judges who have to train next month because they don't know what Bitcoin cryptocurrency is. And there's people who get divorced and they're like, well, he has a lot of Bitcoin. They're like, well, what are we supposed to do? So I write about that. Also, how to save it for your children, how to keep those keys so that they can access it later, how to contact lawyers, all of that. So I also have 8 ways to earn Bitcoin without trading. So a lot of good stuff in the second book as well.
All right. So some people, they didn't hear our previous episode where we did investing for beginners. So give 3 steps. People listening, and you're a champion. You need to get some Bitcoin. Give them the first 3 steps so they can just say, okay, step 1, step 2, step 3.
Okay. Download Cash App. 4th icon from the left. Press it. Buy Bitcoin. You can buy $1 worth right now. Get some skin in the game.
That's it. Keep it simple, people. Keep it simple. Get some skin in the game. You have a lot of content that you create with your daily show, and with you got a live stream and you got a podcast. So let everybody know how they can stay in touch with you so they can stay up to date on what's going on in this crypto space.
Oh, yeah. So you can catch me daily on the Gentlemen of Crypto podcast, the longest running daily show in crypto history, still keeping it going with my co-host King. I have a weekly show, Community Crypto, on CoinDesk TV. You can catch that every Thursday at 4 p.m. You can also go to bitcoinandblackamerica.com to access the books and to see what I do. Mostly I'm on Twitter at BitcoinZay, Z-A-Y, and on Instagram at the Isaiah Jackson. So I do have a book tour coming up, so make sure if you follow there, see the dates that's coming. And also currently, as we speak, I'm teaching a Bitcoin summer camp for kids. So first session was Monday. We have 2 more sessions after that. But because of demand, we're looking to do another session in December. So if you contact me there, if you have kids that you want to learn about it, and even parents, we're teaching parents for free too. So we teach the kids, and then if you sign them up, we'll teach you as well. So just make sure you contact me there.
Speaking of kids, you are a father.
Yes.
You're recently engaged. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yes,
so as we close out, what does crypto mean to the legacy that you're trying to create for your family?
Mm-hmm. I think Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, as you hold it long term, it'll be much like grandma's house. You know how people say, don't sell grandma's house? They're going to, in the future, say, don't sell grandpa's Bitcoin. Because I think legacy wise, being able to own your own money, to be your own bank, to have something that is unconfiscatable is huge. And the freedom that comes from that, I always joke, even if I have a dumb great grandson down the line, I'll make sure I have the directions for him not to sell the Bitcoin if he gets in a gambling debt or something. So for me, it just represents the foundation of a strong family from which you can build for generations to come. Because if you own a asset that is scarce and over time it grows, much like, let's say, Manhattan, if you owned a piece of Manhattan in 1920, your family would be very well off now, even if it was 1 square block. And I think Bitcoin has the same promise.
Wow. Well, we appreciate you again for taking time out of your busy schedule to share all this insight and wisdom with us today. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Another fantastic edition of the show. Man, it was packed. Listen, everything that Isaiah mentioned, we have linked in the show notes of this episode. You can scroll up and click away. We suggest you look at everything that he mentioned because he knows his stuff, man. We hope that you guys are ready to take action and that you're ready to take dominion over your money and your life. That's all we got for this time, guys. It's been great. Till next time. Peace.